noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. As always, muchas gracias to everyone for everyone's words, wishes, prayers, as the love and support everyone shares and sends my way. From the heart, thank you. Also, do please like, share, subscribe, and hype to this video. Gracias. Well, everyone, on this one, I want to touch on a camarada that I met in Corcoran Shu, in the normal side of the shoe, right? Not the B side, the validated side. But it was a homie that when he got there, he had a lot of issues. You know, in reality, there shouldn't be no issues, but nevertheless, he was up in high desert helping with the program there, right? And it was a time of Artie and Terco's conflict. So the people that will get kicked out from Corcoran, that will head out to high desert, they would get shut down completely right away because they knew they were there to represent Terco and being part of the mesa out there. Hit Corcoran, it puts you in a bad situation with Artie. Not because you've done anything wrong. It's just the way politics play out, right? But I'm talking about the homie Grumpy from Echo Park. The homie right now will be around his 50s, 50 years. I don't know, around there, right? But when I met him, he had been down for a grip of time. I believe in the early 90s, he went to YA, and YA turned into some new cases that led him into the system. And he had not been out for a long time, you know. I can't remember exactly, but it was over 2 decades. But anyways, he wasn't even helping Terco per se, right? He was in contact with Popeye, and Popeye's workers were like whatever, right? If they hit high desert and start doing their thing and send up to Popeye, it was pretty much respect there, to allow his workers to do their thing if they wanted to represent Popeye, or they could get in line, right? Again, is that big confusion, right? That in reality the homies had, where it came like, oh, I'm under so and so, I gotta get there and represent so and so, instead of, you know, getting to a place, putting yourself in this position. You need to put some back history on yourself. Hey, I've been doing this and that for so and so. You could check, and how about the enemy as a whole, not just be labeled underneath just one individual. But anyways, up there in our desert, of course, for debts, he would end up wagging a homie from 18, you know, that I guess owed him some feria. As far as I remember it, the homie got away with it, but he had to deal with the aftermath with the camaradas from 18, and there was set trip in there and led to whatever it would end up making things personal with another homie from 18 and get caught in between, you know. And once he got caught, he got told on that other move he had done. So they gave him a pretty good shoot term, right? Anyways, they shot him to Corcoran because during whatever he did out there, he got hit with a blood gun and needed a little extra help medical wise. So they shot him to Corcoran Shu, and that was probably the worst decision they did, right, with him. Because from the minute he got there, Ari right away shot him a field questioning him, right? After he had learned he came from high desert, well, Ari wanted to know who he was representing in high desert and how long he was on the yard for, and all this. It was aimed towards Terco, you know. And it's funny, right? I'm seeing all this play out. I'm the middleman of all this. And again, when I got there, for some reason, it just never became an issue, right? Me supporting Terco in different places. So, anyways, as time went on, right? Again, we're on A-yard, and the homies programming, we're coming out to the concrete yard. All his paperwork is good, there's nothing shady about the homie. And but at the same time, Artie through Indio, through Wolfie or Playboy, ever you know him, he was sending up a lot of questions, right? It gets to a certain point where you're like, they ain't gonna lay off him, you know. And I knew it was gonna become an issue for me. What I mean is eventually they were gonna figure out a way to have the homies, or my in this case myself, move on the homie, right? Under whatever bogus layout they put out. But anyways, things pushed on the homie back there in the shoe. I don't know how he did it, through who he did it, and even if I did, I will not expose the hand here. But he started hitting, and he started hitting carga, which again, Corcoran Shu was flooded, but with speed, right? And he started doing his thing. He started kicking down a good percentage for A, and I was already in the shoe. I didn't need nothing. I could easily go than $45 a month in the shoe. So as he gave it to me, I got it to B or to Artie specifically, right? Because it was just one of them things that could not lay over in different hands, right? Of camaradas. Not because I'm trying to throw something shady on them or nothing. It was just more delicate, right? I'm so sorry. And you just never know, Again, Indio, Wolfie, everyone he had underneath him was solid. But I personally seen what Carga does to solid individuals, right? And anyways, I just wanted to get there. And at all times, I referred it coming from the homie, from Grumpy. And I knew there was not something wrong because everything was okay there. And Artie will not send back his appreciations. Literally, he will not, like on the next time a pila came down, and by the way, like Grumpy, no, I said muchas gracias for that. There was a couple times where I had to ask, like, hey, did you get that in full? And he said, yeah, yeah, gracias, but to me. And anyways, I knew it was just a matter of time, you know. And the worst thing could have happened to the homie, right? I don't know what came between him and the demonio, you know, from Chiques. They were sealed up, and I don't know, you know, according to them, there was disrespect from the other individual. It just, it was knuckle time, right? They would end up boogieing in the cell, getting it out the way. And, you know, once it was over, they separated them. And, you know, I had to send a report over there that it had happened before someone beats me to the punch. Believe me, that was going to be my butt, right? If someone did. And when this happened, I got questioned like, hey, Chino, but don't they know that it's not allowed at all that you put your hands on another homie is automatic te vas type of thing, unless it's made personal and you go about it the right way, which is with pieces. And I told them everything they were aware of it from the moment their paperwork cleared up, and I showed them the rules and regulations, right? What's tolerated, what wasn't, and they were well aware of it. But according to both of them, the disrespect was so heavy there that it had to be met on the spot. And then that next one was so F us, right? It has to be met on the spot. So we just paint it on the wall. They don't have to report it. They don't have to see what the proper guidelines is or look for the proper guidelines out of it. And you know what can I say after that? I just said, you know, I've been asking them, and that's the answer I've been getting from both of them. You know, I can't really say nothing much after that because what is there for me to say, right? You're the one with the last call and things, which I knew off the gate. They had a they had a regulation coming right on the yard when they came out to the yard. You know, they did their little management cell type of thing, and then went to committee and came back on the coop yard, right? I knew off the bat that was mandatory, but you know, already came with something that I feel it wasn't correct. You know, for either of them, which was, hey, well, some were just smeared on the wall, and only what they feel and think is important to where they want to go rug and do their own program. Next time they come out to yard, whack them, remove them. I don't want them in the program no more. So right away, I knew it was his way to remove Grumpy. The homie from Chicas, Demon was just collateral damage, right? It always happens. And me personally, I even tried to, I'm not gonna say stick up for the camaradas. I try to stick up for the homies that were gonna have to end up going to do it. Them picking up more shoe term, more time. There was nothing I could do behind Grumpy and Demon, right? They felt they needed to do what they did. There was going to be consequences. But I did for the people that I was going to ask that favor for, these two individuals need to get hit. You're going to catch more shoe term. Of course, I'm going to look for lifers. They're the proper ones to handle it. But when I shot that, I got shot down real quick. Like, nah, Chino, look, when I'm over there questioning this individual, he should know everything that's done there comes to me. So by him doing that, he didn't just disrespect you, he disrespected me. And there ain't no coming back from disrespecting me, period. So I said, all right, como usted guste, it'll be taken care of. Next time appeal, once it's done, I will inform you. And they did their thing, like I said, it takes a minute for you to go through the management cell thing and then go back out to committee and be thrown back out to the group yards, right? And one went out to the group yard I was in. The other one went out to the group yard Shadow was in. And again, Shadow was already aware. And he even told me, you know, yo ya sabía, yo ya sabía que iba a pasar, right? And I just said, pues, ¿qué se puede hacer, right? What can one do? And anyways, Shadow picked two shooters for the homie Demon. And in my case, the homie from 18, and the homie from SGV, but he wasn't from Lomas. Man, he was from a barrio in SGV. He was from SGV. I apologize. Man, I should remember it, right? But anyways, they were the ones assigned to do Grumpy, right? And even when it happened, Grumpy couldn't believe it, or didn't want to believe it. He basically got at me and told me, hey, this was a chicada for, and I was honest with him, I could have been a dick, excuse me, I could have been, and try to fool him, right? But again, I didn't feel he had it coming like that, right? He got what the Peely wanted, and that was it. And I told him, nah, homie, there's no need to explain yourself no more, If you come back out to Yari, you're going to get hit every time. They don't want you in the program no more. Dispensa, and we left it at that. Again, I know I shouldn't have spoken out, right? And told him this. I should have probably finessed it and worked them to come back out, which I would have done if it would have met the punishment, right? But the homie was just simply getting politicked on because it was part of the responsibility structure in High Desert. Again, he was not underneath Terco. He was underneath popeye. But regardless, Poi Poi had a lot to say about Artie. And it was pretty much the same thing. Even though Poi wasn't in an open war with Artie in a couple places, that was still his worker and he had to go. And that's exactly how politics work. The insight to this one is exactly that. You could be doing everything correctly, but it just takes where you're at and the things you're doing, and for who you're doing them, to not be okay with an individual where you land at. Because remember, if you're active in prison, you ain't going to be on the yard long enough, very long, excuse me. If you're part of the structure of responsibility, you're not going to be on the yard very long, or at least back then. So you're going to get moved around. So you're going to always be guessing, man, where I land, does that Billy get along with the Billy I was doing four things here? And it should not be like that. At the end of the day, it should be all a causa. Damn it, they're all one. Who you work for should not matter, right? But again, they looked at it or they spin it around with, oh, the camaradas are the ones that made things the way they did. Ain't nobody ever said you're supposed to be loyal to one individual and only one individual. But that's a lie. Every Pili tries to make you his soldado and only his. But again, if you're there, I don't need to say much. You know how the programs run. If you're not there, then look, it's just that, right? Keep in mind the narrative is always going to be put out by someone, and there's going to be someone else that's going to have a different narrative somewhere else that could cost you your career. With this said, I hope I made sense. I send my love and prayers. Stay true to yourself and loyal to loved ones.